Okay, we are going to pick up. Today's daf is daf Lamed Gimel. We're going to pick up on the bottom of the Amud of Lamed Beis, where it talks about another subject. We're going to see Mashkanta the Surah. Let's jump into this person who's holding on right now, current occupier of the property, is admitting that he had not bought the property, but he still has a schus to use the property. So what happened? Rava bar sharshum nafak ala kala. There was a call going out as a rumor.
3 lines from the bottom.
4 lines in the bottom. Rava bar sharshum nafak ala kala de ka achil ara de yasmi. That he was using land that belonged to Yisayimim. So it wasn't a very pleasant call. What was the call going out? The Rashbam explains it was as follows. This Rava bar sharshum lent money to these Yisayimim's father. Now they made an arrangement, something called Mashkanta the Surah. He owed him $100,000. He owed him $100,000, and he gave him a field. The father gave Rava this field, Rava bar Shashim field, and told him every year it produces $10,000. After 10 years, my loan will be cleared up. So he gave him a $100,000 loan based on that. Then he owed him another $50,000. What happened was the call was going out that. That's so tight. The call was going out that after 10 years he's still holding on to the karka and using it illegally to continue using the sada to take away, to try to clean up his loan. Right. Okay. Amala Abaya said, Emily easy. Tell me my chaver, tell me. I think easy means my friend. Not sure, but I think easy means tell me my chaver. Or tell me now. Not 100% sure. Gufa de Uvda Hechiava. What was the exact facts of the case? Give me what's going on with you? Explain to me the background. So Amalei Rava bar Shashim tells Abayo, Aro, this land, b'mashkuta haven aktinam avoin the Yasmi. I was holding this land as security, right? He was basically saying he has this as a mashkanta the surah. V'haveli zuzi achrini gabe. Now we're on Lamed Gimel Lamed Aleph, and he says the $100,000 loan was cleaned up with Mashkanta the Surah. However, there's more money he owed me, so I figured that let me use up the field and then I'll give it back. Since I already used up the Mashkanta, I don't want to give it back. Because if I give it back, we're going to see in a moment, we're going to get into issues of shvuah and everything. So I figured let me just hold on to the karka. So as follows, I told myself, if I'm going to return this karka to the Yisayimim v'amino gabe, and I tell them that gabe davuchain the isli zuzi achrina that the father owed me more money. The halach is amar abanan abba lipara minichsi Yisayimim lo yipara l'shvuah. Like we all know, in order to take money from Yisayimim, you must make a shvuah. Ella, so I gave myself a reasoning. What am I going to do? Let me hide this whole shtar mashkanta. Like that, I'm not going to have to make any shvuah. Even though the shvuah is a true shvuah, he didn't want to make the shvuah. Okay. And va'aychla shir zuzi, and then I'll use up the land up to the second chav. He owes me like that. I don't have to make a shvuah. Why? Why don't I need to make a shvuah? The migu, I can have a migu. The be'ina, if I wish to lie, I could have easily said, I purchased it from who? The father. And mehemna, I'd be believed because I have a chazaka, right? We all learned, this was talking about this is a lease going on 3 years during the father's lifetime. So kiamina, this lizuzi gabaychud, if I say instead he owes me money, mehemna, I will likewise be believed without making a shvuah. That's what his cheshbon was. Right? So he's admitting very clearly, let's clarify the case. He's clearly admitting that it's not his. And he's only holding on to this to use up his loan. That's really what he's thinking, right? However...
But he's doing something wrong. And he has a migu on a wrong.
Right, so you always have this issue, Jack, with this migu on a wrong.
It bothers me.
Right. There's a different issue even. B'chlal, they question, what is going on with... it doesn't even help because you have something called shvuas heses. What's to really help him? You have to make always based on him, even with the chazaka, right? The halach is even if he's going against The Gemara in Shuas Mem talks about anyone denies a claim against himself, he has to make a swear. It's a Shuas Hesed. So if the assignment in the question is Recht, why do you have the land? Even if he says I bought it from the father, he still has to make a Shuas Hesed. So how would he avoid? His whole issue was, it sounds like in the Gemara, he didn't want to make a Shvur. Like the Pasuk says, they bring down earlier, that someone in Dvarim.
For religious reasons?
Yes, it says in the Torah, I forgot the Pasuk offhand, but it says in the Torah, let's see if they bring it down. I don't see it in front of us, but it says in the Torah that a person shouldn't make a Shvur. Even someone who's a Talmid Chacham shouldn't make a Shvur. So he didn't want to make a Shvur, but the problem is he still has a problem with Shuas Hesed. So the Rashbam says that one who's making if his taina is based on a chazaka, Dr. Rashbam, then he's parted from Shvur. First of all, in Yishbon al Karkais, that's one concept. And a Shvur, and the chazaka is like a star. So just like it's effective as a star, just like a star, I don't need to make a Shvur, then a chazaka. However, this is the Shitas Rashbam. The Rishonim don't like this, they ask many questions, but that's the basic concept of the Rashbam. So that was his cheshbon, right? He wanted to say, let me hold on to it, and like that I'll be able to get it back. I'll be able to get my loan back without having to make any shvur. So Amalei Abai tells him, you're not able to believe, you're not believed to say you bought the land, even if you wanted to lie. Why? What happened is, there's already a call. What's the call saying? That this nechassim belonged to the assignment. So, before I have a question, but let's just explain it on a basic level. What did we learn chazak, right? We chazak today. The whole point of chazak is that if a person, especially with the Ksaisis Mahalach, after a few years, you let go of your star. What happens if people are protesting? You hold on to your star, right? Now, in our case, we're trying to say that a kol should be like a macha. Just like a macha helps to stop a chazaka, who adin, it should stop. They make a chazaka, memela, according to Abaya, Rava, Bar, Sharshum's Migu would collapse. My only issue I'm not understanding is that a minute ago the Rashbam says regarding that he has a chazaka, the Migu, the Ibaina, Amuna lekucha biyad, he would be believed. Danish Malakakais. It sounds like that he had the land during his father's lifetime, which wouldn't stem to feed this teretz a second later, especially if you have a look at note 4. Does everyone have note 4? What's it say, note 4? Rava Bar Shashim had used the land for 3 years during the father's lifetime. Correct? Yeah. Now how's the stem with the end of note 6? Correct? Now that's what's bothering me a little, because it clearly says that this is the rumor is effective like a mecha.
But here is different, because he was going to use the land for 10 years.
Correct. He used the land for how many years? The Rashbam said earlier that this Rav Rosh Hashem's concept was, I could have said lekuchi biyadi. How could you say lekuchi biyadi? Because you had the karka for 3 years. The problem is, Abai answers back, why not? Let me ask you a question. When did the call come out? The call by default had to come out after the father died. And that's the whole call. That he's eating what? Yisayim's karka. That means the father died. Didn't we a minute ago say that the father had that he had the karka for 3 years during the father's lifetime? That's what no 4 says. So something's off that I'm not understanding. Maybe you could just say
the Yisomim are the case of Yisomim are different.
It's the same. This is the same case.
No, he said, but by Yisomim you can use the land, and then what they owe you can when they grow up you can.
Correct. When they grow up after the bar mitzvah. But my question is very simple. Rava Bar Shashim's svara. What was his reasoning? Yeah, when they grow bar mitzvah, the seller is 20, but as soon as they come bar mitzvah, you can take them best. Let me ask you something. Rava Bar Shashim's reasoning was he could tie know what? I bought it. And he should be believed with the right. He has a migu. I said I bought it. If you bought it, that means you had a chazaka. Rashbam says da achalte shni chazaka bechaye havoin. Correct? Yeah. What was Abaya's answer back? Abaya says no. You can't tie into that because a macha, the call is like a macha. I don't understand. Are we talking about the same field? Yes, that's what we're talking about. So what do you mean? And therefore, I don't know what that means. So I feel like I'm missing something at a very basic elementary level. I don't know. I'm gonna have to try to get back tomorrow. I'm thinking of this kasha now. I'm missing something. The feeler is bomb. I'm not understanding. Maybe Taisus would have a different svara, because Taisus does say taka. Taisus says, "Afagav diava amel kuch biyad have an emon mikamakim lo have a migu." Taisus wants to say it's not a migu. V'achbir shlemas amel leisa yachal ayis penech v'lem kain. Kiven the nafa kol v'inkan migu. Taisus says something else. So Taisus, I understand. Taisus wants to say there's no migu. They say because there's a call coming out and take away your migu. What's migu? Migu means believe me, I'll taina. No, you won't want to taina if there's a migu going. If there's a call going on. That I understand. The Rishbam sounds like what star? So to me, it sounds like a very elementary question. It sounds like a very simple question. I'm going to have to either think about it, look into it a little better. But let's work with Taisus Mahalach for now. Okay. Do you understand what's bothering me, Jack?
I think I do.
The Rishbam, the first wide line, right before the first skinny line, where it gets skinny, it says, once I have a chazaka, do I need any star? No. Chazaka, 3 years. So what's the call? The call had to come out after the father died. So how could the way the Rishbam is understanding, a call is like a machal. What machal is going on? I don't understand. It's 3 years already. I threw out the star.
But how, he can't have a chazaka in a field that belongs to the Yisomim.
Correct. He's trying to say is I could have said I bought it.
Yeah.
So
he can't.
Why not?
He can't say that.
Why not?
Because by Yisomim, I mean, if you want to take away the field from the Yisomim, you have to make a shvua.
I got that, but is the chazaka is this field? If I would have said I bought it from the father, would I be believed? I have a chazaka. Why is it different than a person has a karka for 10 years? Suddenly the person he bought it 10 years ago died. Could the Yisraelim come and take it away from me without a shur? No, it's mine. I have a chazaka. Belongs to me. That's what I'm not clear. I don't have a full understanding how this works. Okay.
Does the chazaka work with the Yisomim?
It's not about Yisraelim. That's what I don't understand.
Well, that's why the Gemara brought a case.
Right, but I got that. That it works. Chazaka maybe doesn't have to work Yisraelim during the Yisraelim's years. We're going to see there's no such thing as Ganei Chazaka during the Yisraelim's years. But if I had a Chazaka when the father was alive, what sheikhs now? I had a Chazaka. I have a field for 35 years. Is that a Chazaka? Yes or no?
Yes.
I have it for 35 years. So only the guy I bought it from 35 years ago died, so his kids come to me now. I don't have the star. How should I have the star? I bought it from him 35 years ago.
But he's admitting that it doesn't belong to him.
That I understand, but that's not what the Rashbam says. I got it that you're admitting it. He's trying to say, Migu doesn't work, the say Lekuchi Biyadi, because since there's a call, you should have held on to the star. But a minute ago, you told me that I have a chazaka. Chazaka means 3 years. I don't need to hold on to the star.
The star is not on the field. The star is on the loan.
Right. I got the stars on the loan because this is all false, right? It's all false. But his reasoning, l'char, is right. Abaye says your reasoning is wrong because you never would have been believed to say you bought the land because since there's a call that it belongs to the Yisayimim, it takes away the chazaka. Why? The chazaka I had when the father was alive. I'm missing something.
I think that the difference is Yisomim. If it would be a regular case, you were right. I think the difference is Yisomim.
Maybe he's saying I bought the land now? I don't know.
No, he's not tiny. It's not tiny.
I know he's not tiny. I'm saying in his reasoning what he could have said. His migu means I could have said X, Y, Z. What is the X, Y, Z? That's what I'm not understanding. Okay. Ella, so what did I buy? Rule Zilla Hadjuna allow you go return the property. Simon Mechigadli asked me, they taka get older when they reach 13, Ishtoi Dina Badayu, take it up with them, run into Bezdin, and in a Chanam you're gonna have to make a shvua. However, right now there is no choice to do anything about it. Right? Let's go weiter. Krivi the Rav Idi Bar Oven Shachif. There's a relative Idi Bar Oven. He died. Vishavak, he left the dikla. I guess it was worth a lot of money to a certain degree. Now we learned this mamish yesterday on Shabbos, B'nai Slavchad, where it talked about Yerusha. All the concept of Yerusha goes to the closest. We're going to learn this extensively in Kofchesem Beis, the parak of Yesh Neichlin, where it talks about very extensively all the halachas of Yerusha. So what happens is, if there's no son, there's no daughter, eventually, if someone belongs, unless you are ger, there's no such thing as a Jew without Yarshim. So it went to the Yarshim, but very far Yarshim. So Ravid V'Shavadich, and he left this date tree. Ravid B'Rabban Amar, I am the closest living relative. Anak Karivnet Tvei, Vahuga Avram, and someone else said, no, Anak Karivnet Tvei. Therefore, no one's able to prove their claim. This second person grabbed it. Sounds like we're talking about Kaldan Lagvar. He was much stronger, and he was able to take it away. L'saif. Ultimately, what happened was, Aydele was Maideh, the Ihu Kariv Tvei. That he himself is a close relative. So, Ukma, Rav Chizda, Biyadeh. As a result, what did Rav Chizda do? He Taka gave it into Ravidi. Amarle, Ravidi said, to Ravidi, gave it back to him. Amarle, Lahadele Peri. Well, what happened to all the Paris meanwhile? It was a long time until he got it back. Let me give it back. He's admitting I'm the Karv. So when the Paris were stolen, you should pay me. So Amar, Chizda didn't like what he says. Who are you to say? Chizda was telling Ravidi, you're Adam Gadol? Why are you talking like that? Why? Because I'm on Kasamach Mar. Who are you relying on right now? I'm on Kasamchas. Who are you relying on to get the tree back? This person. This guy was saying you Karv. But he's been claiming until now. Very nice, he gave you the tree till now, but it's not going to entitle you to get the past, and we're going to see in a minute why, right? Because if he wanted, if he had stuck to his guns, he would have cut the tree. So the way the Rashbam explains it is that we're learning he's understanding that it's a matana. He's only giving him a matana. Why? He wants to say, you should say thank you for giving you a present. That's what he wants to understand it. Why? Because Kiva, however, Abai and Rava, they didn't hold like this. They didn't hold like Rav Chizda. Why? Kiva, the ID. They reasoned that once the person admitted that it's taken out his land, it was Midas. He has to, I got it. Do you want to do tshuva today? You're not so tzaddik. You stole the land. Now you come back and say, you know what? You were really the carver earlier. So Avada, it belonged to me. Therefore, I deserve it. And the argument really becomes between Abai and Rava is how do we look at it? Is it a gift? He's saying, you know what? Take it back. No, maybe I'm not 100% sure you're a carve. But he's not going to have to get back to payers because I'm giving it shaloi. I'm giving it as a bedas. So you know what? I thought about it. Even though it's called on Gvar, I'm feeling guilty. Maybe I'm not the carve. So I don't have to give it back to Paris. Mashenk and Abai and Rava say, no, he's minded that he was holding on to it. He's doing real tshuva. That's really the machlokes, how to understand it. Is that he's like doing tshuva and he regrets what he did? Or he's still not sure and he feels bad? Okay.
So he keeps the fruit or not?
So it's a machlokes. According to Abai and Rava, he doesn't keep the fruit because he was a ganav. The Shechalei Chadin Rashbam says. However, according to Chizda, he does because the concept is that he's being nice. He's giving it as a gift. That's how Chizda was understanding it. Okay, now we're going to go with Migu. We mentioned this on Lamed Alf a little. Migu Makam Eidim. Now we're going to go through it. Each one saying this was my father's and I inherited it. And I said it was my father's and I inherited it. Hi, I see Sadeh Davasi. One is able to produce Eidim. That clearly said that the land belonged, Taco, to the forefathers, and not only that, they are bringing Eidos, Dr. Ishbam, that he's testifying that it was never sold. This Eidim are saying that this first person never sold it to this guy, or to even his father. So he's lying. The high, I see Sadi, the Achal, Shnei Chazako. So now we have a Migu. Amr Chizna, Malashaki, Bayamala, if you want, he could have said, Minach, Zamente, Vachaltia, Shnei Chazaka, since he could have won the case with the Migu, with the Taina that he bought it, Meli's them. Abai v'Rava Chizda didn't like this. They said, we learned this in Lamed Aleph, Mali l'shaker b'mokem Eidim loy amrinon. We do not say it against Eidim. We have no choice but to assume he's lying, since the Eidim are going against him. Lashon Rashbam is haloi vadai mishakerhu, and therefore what? The cheskas hagimel ain't a klum davel chazak sheni matayno, and the Rashbam Taka says v'hachi hilchasa taka dalacha. Okay, very good shmak Rashbam. Another case. There's a person who tells his friend, "My boy is bahara. What are you doing in this land?" Malei minach zavni. I bought it from you. Right, therefore I don't need to bring a star. And what happened was, also, the occupant went, and I see Sadi the Achla Tartishni. So, he thought he would find witnesses. He was searching high and dry. Couldn't find, he only had 2 years. He thought he would be able to say 3 years. The Allah is to give it back. He has no chazak. Rav Nachman, Hadra, Ara, Hadra, Peri. Right? He must give also the produce he consumed. Okay, again, you have to have Eidim saying how much he consumed. However, if he does not know, he retains the produce and the migu. Okay. Now it's very right. We saw this earlier when we handled mechila. We thought the Gemara, the first side to say was mechila on Chavtes. Gemara says, if it's mechila, how could Rav Nachman say hadra arva hadra peri? So we said it's not mechila. A person's makbid, right? Went into akbad and eventually went into the ksais ramban. That after 3 years you let go of your star. Okay. However, now we're going to say a scenario, we're going to have to let go of the land, but you get the karka. Amar zvid im ta'an ve'amar. If the occupant advances a claim saying, leperis yaradati, I had agreement with you. He tiny, he was an aris, right? We learned an aris gets whether it's a shlish, mechzer, aviyah, whatever he's going to get, right? Or he's saying, I bought the schus for the pairs. Doesn't make a difference, but he's saying that it was his right. The halach is he's believed, and he doesn't have to give Nemon. In a chanami, has to vacate the land because it doesn't have chazaka. However, whatever he ate, the produce that he ate, he gets. So he doesn't have to pay it back. What about the future produce that avada? He can't take it anymore. He has to go to Bezdin over there. Okay, and Rav Tzvid explains as follows: Lav mi Amar Rav Yehuda, didn't Rav Yehuda already say? Hai man denoket migla v'suvlaya. Person who takes. So it's a maglav is sivlaya, it's a rope, and some like stick in his hands. You're right, these are tools, the Rashbam says, they use to harvest dates. Okay, one's for the cutting, one's to come up. So I'm assuming we don't have a pair of shchai on us, but I'm assuming it's more of a type of a knife, a type of thing. It's an interesting shape, and one's to climb up to grab the dates.
A scythe? You mean
a scythe, but I don't know, right, it's like a scythe.
A scythe is
like
curve.
An angle, it's a curve, right, it's a curve. It's a scythe, which is a curve, correct. V'amar, if a person goes and he takes a scythe, S-C-Y-T-H-E, okay. V'amar, Azel, I'm going to go and Igdurila Dikla de Plani, I'm going to harvest the palm trees belonging to Yankel. Why? He sold me this chosim. The halach is Naaman. Why? Mammon. Why is he believed? As long as the owner is not objecting, even if he's not in the town, he's believed. Why? The loy chatzav inish the gaza dikla de lavdile. If he was so bold, we must assume he was saying the truth. Wow. Okay. Right? Because it takes a lot of guts. Think about it. If you're walking into illegally, and then there's he's going to make machaz and scream at you. It's very bushus what's going on.
It's the same thing like a loan. The guy won't is embarrassed to say he doesn't know the money. So
right, but bal chayv ain't on the maze if name bal chayv. The similar concept ain't on the maze over here to really go because he's going to be embarrassed. Here it's because of curse toiv, but it's the same concept of ain't on the maze, right? Okay. Now, let's just be real. The Rishonim Taisus explains also, Loi chatzavinish, lav mishum de confession. Even if it goes betzina nami lo shayachinish. Taisus says, even betzina, don't think if he has to go and give a clap. Person doesn't risk going in. If you ask any security guard when they get training, they're only looking out for people that are insecure. Someone who's secure, you don't question them. Right? If a guy walks out to the security in the entrance to Kosher and Evergreen, he one time told me, he looks at the people that are double checking him because it takes a certain confidence. Unless right? If you're doing something true, you're more confident. Even though he has no chazaka, why doesn't it help to say a person to have his chazaka? Okay. My answer is like we have, remember this especially stems with the Ramban, that you have a taina of achvishtarcha. Why? Where was your star? Or the Ksai says you should have held on to it, right? Therefore, he has to show us the star. Yachi perinami. Why don't you have a star on the Paris? Time for the Gemara that star of the Paris of the inchi. It's not a raya because they usually did not make a star those days. You have to remember those days it was extensive.
Land itself.
On land they did, but star wasn't like today. Today you could just shoot up an email and send it. It's a joke to make a star, right? But in those days, it was very complex, very expensive, and it wasn't something that they did. Okay, another little mice, and then we're going to stop over here. There was a person tells his fellow, "My bois bahai ara. What are you doing in my land? And I have used it for 3 years. I have a chazaka. I see chad sahada tacholot flashni. He produced one witness that he used it for what? Flashni for 3 years. He couldn't find a second witness, okay, to establish this chazaka. So he had to leave. The question is, does it help for the produce this one witness? Some want to go. We're going to have to stop. We're going to stop of Naska the Baba. We're going to start it today, and we're going to have to stop very soon. But we want to start it like that tomorrow. We'll be a little more familiar with Naska the Baba. We're trying. It's a very famous decision that rendered by Rababa. It's called the Sugya of Naska the Rababa. Okay. Which was a silver bar. So we're not handling the land. You have one witness. So you clearly have to what? You have to return the land. The question is, does he have to return the bears? So they wanted to say it's Hainu Naska the Rababa. It's the Sugya of Naska Rababa that what? Who gave the Chat of Naska Mechavrei? There was a person who snatched a silver bar from his fellow friend. They went in front of Rabami, and Yasir Abba Kamei. Rabab was sitting at the time before Rabami. I see Chatzado the Michtav Chatfimine. He was able to produce, the plaintiff was able to produce that the defendant snatched this bar from him. So Amalein, yes, Chatfi with Didi Chatfi, but it was mine. So we're going to see. We're going to stop over here because tomorrow it's not going to stop. It's going to get a little complex. It's basically the whole entire Amud. How do we paskin regarding the silver bar? Right? Heicha, we can't pay because there's Eidim, Shvuas. It's going to be very geschmack. And we're going to try to explain to Shteltsu Naska Rababa. It's the whole tomorrow's Amud of Lamadal Amud Aleph. And then, Yetz Hashem, we're going to start a Huarva tomorrow, Lamadal Amud Beis.